Ahoy, me hearties. Mate Markham here to tell you a tale of intrigue and political machinations. Now, wait a minute, don't go. This isn't one of those boring stories about stuffy rich people telling with fancy clothes talking about politics. Remember, pirates are involved, so we always tend to thread a bit of chaos in with where domestic affairs are concerned. Now, a fun fact I probably haven't mentioned before. My little sister Maeve is married to Bosun Redblade's twin brother Oscar. They met while each was visiting us on the stanza. It was love at first sight and all that. Sickeningly adorable stuff. Anyway, they now live in a town called Spinnerport. It's an important trade hub in the east. They have a fair number of mages to whom we sell our ephemera collections, and we get to visit them fairly often. Last couple of times we visited, it was clear something was bothering them, but we're generally not the prying sorts. This latest time we've come by, though, we noticed it wasn't just them. All of Spinnerport had this general feeling of discontent and vexation. We were hauling and selling a fairly big cache, so we knew that we'd be in town for a bit, and we felt it had to be addressed. Turns out that Spinnerport had themselves a new mayor of a year or so, and, well, he was a right bastard. He only got himself elected because he had big friends in a lot of the merchant guilds and had a talent for telling people what they wanted to hear. As soon as he was in power, he launched a plan to unravel some key protections the common folk enjoyed as far as job security and wage fairness. Most people weren't fans of these policies, but he was quite crafty in how he put it together. Credit where it's due. Oscar and Maeve were in the transport business, and some of these policies were hitting them fairly hard. Messing with our relatives is always a bad idea, but seeing as how our own business was also going to be affected, we felt like we had to step in. The Mages Guild was doing okay with these changes, but laborers involved in pretty much every other aspect of trading ephemera was losing money in favor of rich investors across the board. The mayor was in a pretty strong position and wasn't up for election for another few years, so what to do? Turns out the town's bylaws said an early election could be called if enough of the council asked for it. The mayor had enough of them in his pocket to make this hard, but not impossible. It was time for us to get to work. The mayor's network of influence relied on its clockwork precision, and we thought that an element of chaos could really help disrupt that. If it's anything Sky Pirates do well, it's introducing a little anarchy to our advantage. We each split up into areas of influence and told some guild heads our plan. I approached the Teamsters, Bowman reached out to the Builders, and the Bosun talked to the Victualers Guilds. They each arranged for some extreme examples of inefficiency, justifying them with following the absolute letter of what some of the more aggressive policies of the mayor. Commerce started to back up pretty badly, and when things aren't being shipped, food and drink is getting affected, and projects just aren't getting built, grumbling turns into outrage. And it wasn't too long before the council was forced to call for an early vote, eager to shift the blame to the mayor. Throughout this process, we'd been spreading the word that one Maeve Redblade was a woman of the people. She was being the finest choice for a new mayor. That was well and good, but we needed a little bit of an ace in the hole. With the mayor and Maeve on the ballot, a third mystery candidate somehow made it on as well. They were loud and brash and flashy and calling for an even sterner position against the common folk, and sure to draw some votes away from the mayor. They also just happened to be Admiral Bowman in disguise. So, without going into the finer details of what turned out to be a pretty wild campaign, I sit here drinking the bosun's finest cider at the victory party of Spinnerport's newest mayor, one Maeve Redblade. She'll be doing the town proud and making sure that What was that? Oh, they found out about the Bowman trick. Okay. All right, well, that's politics. Till next time.
A mile from Pencaidlin on the road to the sea stands a yew tree 1,000 years old, and the old women swear by the grey of their hair that it knows what the future will hold. For the shadows of Scotland stand around it, mid the care and the corn and the kye, are the hopes and the fears of 1,000 long years under the Lothian sky. My bonny yew tree, tell me, what did you see? Did you look through the haze of the long summer days to the south and the far English border. All the bonnets so steel on Flodden's far field, and they marched by your side in good order. Did you and the price of their glory when you heard the great slaughter began? For the dust of their bones would rise up from the stones to bring tears to the eyes of the wind. My bonny Yew Tree, tell me, what did you see? Not once did you speak for the poor and the weak when the moss troopers lay in your shade, to count out the plunder and hide from the thunder and share out the spoils of their raids. But you saw the smiles of the gentry and the laughter of lords at their gains, when the poor hunt the poor across mountain and moor. The rich man can keep them in chains. My bonny Yew Tree, tell me, what did you see? Did you nothing to tell when John Knox himself preached under your branches of black to the poor common folk who would lift up the yoke of the bishops and priests from their backs? But you knew the bargain he sold them, and freedom was only one part. For the price of their souls was a gospel so cool it would freeze up the joy in their hearts. My bonny Yew Tree, tell me, what did you see? As I stood laying hands on your wood, that it might be a kindness to fell you. One kiss of the axe and you're free from the racks of the sad bloody tales that men tell you. But a wee bird flew out from your branches and sang out as never before, and the words of the song were 1,000 years long, and to learn them the long 1,000 more. My bonny Yew Tree, tell me, what did you see? My bonny Yew Tree, tell me, what can you see?